Missed an episode of your favorite podcast? Choose from over a decade of content in our archives, not just the latest episode. All free at GCNlive.com.
This is your call to action. Get prepared, America. Economy, survival, energy, disasters. This is USAPrepares.com. Informative radio, educational radio. Interact now by emailing instructor@USAPrepares.com or text at 434-390-7953. Class, please take your seats. Now, your instructor, Vincent Finelli.
Watch the greenbacks tumble.
Rick, are you all set, Rick?
Gremlin, I know. Laughter.
Well, we're always like this, Rick. I was telling Matt, our engineer, that you spent some time at the farm, and like Ed Marvini and John Statmiller and Rich Sheben and Aaron Dakins and Brad Dakins and Grace Thorne, John Regan. I don't want to leave anybody out. We had a house full, and
it was fun.
And someone mentioned it was quiet. Okay, and I said, that's because Rick's not here yet.
That's irony.
I'll tell you what, you liven up a party. I'll tell you that.
It isn't just me. When Grace got up on her gorilla-gram on top of the table and started dancing, Grace here with me. So
yeah,
she came in early.
And she's probably looking at you like, I can't believe you said that.
I'm just kidding.
I know you are. And so,
the Rock of Gibraltar, solid.
Yeah. Well, Rick, today we're going to talk about some pretty disturbing things, and I'd like to caution the class. If you're not up for some disturbing information, cutting edge information, you want to turn this broadcast off for today, because we're going to be talking about violent climate change. We're going to be talking about Fukushima, the reality, the real story. We're going to be talking about the literal threat of extinction by nuclear reactors caused by individual greed of a few, putting the entire planet at risk. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Very, very serious information. And Rick Miller has been with us at the expo, of course. He gave multiple seminars. He has a very loyal following and a wide following. And he stayed with us for the meetup, the following meetup on Monday night. And he talked about some of these things. And so we're going to talk about them in more in detail. So you may have some questions for Dr. Richard Allen Miller. And if you do, you can call us and we'll pay for the call. 866-582-9933. 866-582-9933. So what happens when you call USA Prepares, you'll be greeted by our engineer, Matt, in Minnesota. And he will put that information on a call screen for me. And I have all the call lines right in front of me on a screen here in Missouri. And I will take your calls right from here. So all you have to do is tell him your first name and the state you're calling from, and you will appear on the call screen, and I'll put you on the air right away. So that's how it works. Dr. Richard Allen Miller, where would you like to start with the topics?
I have no idea what to say about what I'm discovering every day. Every day, it's something new, and I have come to realize there is an underpinning of threats that have led to this moment where I'm going to try to, explain what I see, and then what I'm going to do about it. There's not much I can do. This is an event that is biblical. It is, it's happened before, and most likely, if we're lucky, it will happen again. But we have a responsibility for the next civilization in front of us. It's like being Atlantis and trying to set the scene so that the technologies we've done will not stop the Greeks from developing their own civilization. And Fukushima, if we have a ice age, which is almost 100% certain, what are we going to do when the nuclear reactors begin to thaw? Now, there won't be any technology left to know how to deal with a nuclear reactor, much less what it is. And when it thaws, there will be no electrical current to control the water flow and cooling of said reactors. And if I remember correctly, Matt Stein wrote a paper called 400 Chernobyls. And that's what we get to leave the next civilization that will develop after the technological one has gone and passed, like Greece or Atlantis. And I don't have a plan on how to do that. My early message was, turn the switch off. They haven't. In fact, we're now discovering that when the grid went down in Japan, there were more problems than just Fukushima. They have other nuclear reactors, and those grids went down also. We're only just now realizing that Fukushima, according to this one post yesterday, is going to affect the next 700 generations. And there aren't going to be 700 more generations, because what's going to happen is we're going to have an ice age, and when those remaining alive come out of their caves, they're going to have no idea what a nuclear reactor is, because it won't be the scientists that come out of the caves, it'll be the one percenters. And here I am talking to the one percenters now as a scientist that's saying, you have miscalculated and you will not have anything to return to if you do not turn those switches off now. Because the ice age could happen any minute. And while everybody thinks, we'll survive because we'll be on Mars or we'll be down in Costa Rica, actually, in fact, those that are down there are not scientists like you or me. And how are they going to know how to now navigate a nuclear reactor plant that is starting to thaw from, a day after tomorrow? That's what's happening next. And if nobody else hears this, it's time that a League of Concerned Scientists is immediately put together. It should have happened back in 2011 when all of this happened. I am the reason the economy didn't collapse in 2008 like it absolutely should have. I do not know how they did that. They somehow put a Band-Aid on everything because it won't matter shortly, and they were extending the time of delivery from God. And I have to say, that's it. That's what I have to say. There's not much more I have to say. It's the nuclear reactor plants right now must be turned off. Fukushima is way worse than anybody realizes, and that's just one set of plants. That's not even talking about all the rest of them in Europe or the United States. And how they're going to solve this problem now with Fukushima, which is out of control. The others are not yet. They're all leaking, but they're not like overcritical, is that there's no technology technology on how to approach fixing things. They did like Chernobyl. They encased it in a tomb. How are you going to get that tomb under Fukushima that's now leaking into the ocean? That's just one, 4 sets of reactors of 400 more ready to go sideways. And so I don't have a plan except to bend over and kiss your behind goodbye. That's creepy. And there won't be anything left when it thaws.
Rick, I was on the air the day after. Yeah, I was on the air the day after Chernobyl, and those were the days when I was on just once a week. And I said, this is the worst man-made disaster since Noah's flood. People thought I was nuts because the media was saying, it's okay. It's just steam. It's okay. It's no big deal.
Like 3 Mile Island.
Yeah, like 3 Mile Island. And let's extrapolate there. Rick, and I've said this before, and I think it bears repeating because it's germane to today's discussion. When there's a radioactive leak, there are the downwinders, and the radioactive fallout lands on them, on the downwinders. And 3 Mile Island is a nuclear reactor in Pennsylvania, and it melted down. But the news reports, when it was melting down, partial meltdown, said that no, it's just steam. It's okay. It's steam. Television, radio, everybody was, all the media, newspapers. It's just steam. It's okay. And I didn't buy it, and so we lived somewhat downwind. And I sealed the cracks in the windows, and we stayed in for days. And we thought that we'd stay until it passed. And when you have a job, it's like, you got to go to work. Well, no, you don't have to go to work. You think you have to go to work. And most people will, follow orders and go to work, even in a radioactive environment. Well, we didn't do that. We stayed home and we sealed the windows and doors, and people thought that we were nuts because I said, no, this is serious. And we even have an engineer in the family who is a chemical engineer, and he said, no, it's okay. It's just steam. You don't understand, Vinny. It's just steam. And I said, no, I don't believe it. Well, downwind, miles downwind. When we come back from the break, I'll tell you what happened 10 years later. And this is why this is so serious. And this is absolute conclusive proof that it's dangerous. And this is just a small meltdown. Dr. Richard Allen Miller, and I will be right back. This is USAPrepares.com. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm, we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Mike Zennerson for Midas Resources. At no time in history have precious metals been more important, certainly not in my 22 years in the industry. The dollar has lost over 90% of its value in the last 60 years. No fiat currency has ever survived the government printing presses. Ours is not immune. The time is now to be proactive. 1-800-686-2237, extension 116. Anything tied to the dollar is at risk. CDs, annuities, 401ks, IRAs, stocks, bonds, you name it, so decide. Do you want to leave a legacy of wealth or debt for your family? The choice is yours. Call me at 1-800-686-2237, extension 116. That's 1-800-686-2237, extension 116. Be proactive, not reactive. Call 1-800-686-2237, extension 116.
There's a man named Dr. Joel Wallach who is anything but your typical doctor, both a veterinarian and naturopathic physician. Doc asks, why does the United States spend more money on healthcare by far and still rank 50th in health and longevity worldwide? He believes that people should empower themselves with a basic understanding of nutrition, take charge of their health, and attain optimal health and longevity through nutrition, not by toxic prescription drugs that lead to side effects and more toxic prescription drugs. Doc Wallach's message is resonating with an increasing number of Americans who are waking up to all the big government, big pharma, and big insurance manipulation of our healthcare system. I'm George Norrie, and I like what Doc Wallach is saying and doing to enlighten people about healthcare. Visit criticalhealthnews.com and listen to Dr. Wallach's Deadly Recipes lecture. It makes a lot of sense, and I urge you to join our Critical Health News team. Go to criticalhealthnews.com. That's criticalhealthnews.com.
Attention taxpayers! If you've received a notice from the IRS or state, do not ignore it. It's also a big mistake to try and handle your tax problem on your own. If you owe back taxes, it's a fact that the government has the power to take everything you own, including your home, business, wages, savings, and your freedom. But here's the good news. There's a special toll-free tax hotline set up especially for you. This tax hotline will tell you about new programs that are geared to help you dramatically settle, reduce, or eliminate what you owe. But you have to call now. Take down this number or put it in your cell phone. But call 877-345-7645. That's 877-345-7645. When you call, you get free information on how you can reduce or eliminate back taxes, including penalties and interest. You can also be helped if you have unfiled returns, a tax lien, wage garnishment, bank levy, or if you have been entered into a payment plan but can't make the payments. Don't make the big mistake in thinking you can ignore or handle your tax problem on your own. You can stop the collection process immediately at 1-877-345-7645. That's 1-877-345-7645. 1-877-345-7645.
Dr. Richard Allen Miller and I are talking about nuclear catastrophes, and I mentioned that there's the 3 Mile Island nuclear catastrophe. It's called the 3 Mile Island accident, and I just put a post on the website, usaprepares.com, about it. So in March of 1979, we were downwind, and the reactor let out some radioactivity, and it was reactor coolant that vaporized and went airborne. Well, the news papers, the television, radio report said, it's just steam, and that was the official report. So they were just going on what they've been told. Well, downwind, 10 years later, there was a family in a neighborhood, and the neighborhood had some strange anomalies. For example, the dandelions in their lawn of these families, the leaves of the dandelions were 3 feet long. So the news camera, showed this video. This man was holding this dandelion leaf. He stretched out his arm and he put one end of the leaf on his fingertips, the other end on his shoulder. This is a common dandelion leaf that you would have in your lawn, those yellow flowers, those weeds. And he said that every family in the neighborhood had cancer of some kind. Pancreatic cancer, skin cancer, liver cancer, lung cancer. They all had cancer. Every single family in this neighborhood. So when you look at just steam coming out, it's way, way, way worse than that. So here we have, and that's just one example. And I've mentioned before on the air that I have a news article in the Parade magazine, that used to come out with the Sunday newspaper. And there was an article about in the Soviet Union, there was a horse that was born with 8 legs. And this horse was downwind from the Chernobyl accident. And I have the article. It shows this horse with 8 legs. And if you're wondering about the Fukushima radiation, Rick, there's a place near us. If we go the back way to Springfield from the farm, we would go past a little town called Rogersville. And in Rogersville, there was a calf born with 5 legs. And this calf had one of its legs coming out of its face. So, are these just birth defects? You've got to wonder how much of this is due to the radiation in the air that landed here.
You had particulate matter the Nuclear Emergency Tracking Center, NETC.com, has a by-minute change of what the RADCON level alerts are anywhere in the world, except Europe. Isn't that interesting? Japan is lit up like a candle, and every once in a while you'll see a RADCON 4 level alert in Florida when a particulate falls and changes everything in that region for a moment. Of course, imagine the amount of radiation pouring into the sea. You know, we're talking about the air, and we forgot that now we have anomalies of massive dyes, kill-offs, bacterial, things they say with the starfish, and tuna coming out of the Pacific Ocean that have high levels. The sardine fishing is closed this year, and now we've got a bunch of sea lions that are not surviving because there's nothing to eat. It is a tragedy. It is possibly not reversible, and it is going to require a different way of being and living. However, if we don't address this issue today, I'm not even talking about tomorrow, because it's the day after tomorrow, then everything is no longer functioning correctly, that we're going to have real problems. Yet, you know, when it snows and the temperature drops to a -100 and it becomes like being on Mars, at that juncture, the nuclear reactors will be in stasis. But when it thaws and the new civilization starts with cavemen coming out of caves, start a new way of being, that's what they have ahead of them.
Hey, Rick.
That's our part of responsibility.
Rick, we have to be careful the words we use. And class, right now, RADCON 2 and rising in Kansas, Michigan, Indiana, New York, and Texas. RADCON 3, Nebraska, and Pennsylvania, right this minute. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
The human body is extraordinary. Despite all the stresses we inflict upon it, it still works hard to stay in balance. Thousands upon thousands of people rely upon Heart and Body Extract to help their body stay balanced. This excellent 100% natural herbal formula helps maintain healthy blood pressure levels, cleans arteries, promotes good circulation, balances cholesterol, and more. HB Extract, paired with healthy lifestyle choices like good nutrition and exercise, can give you a life free of pain, sickness, and fear. Recapture your youthful vitality and experience your body healing itself with the aid of HB Extract. It's extremely effective, and it starts working in just days. Visit hbextract.com to learn more and to read scores of testimonials from satisfied customers. And we've never increased our price in over 10 years. That makes Heart and Body Extract as great a value now as it was the first day we sold it. A healthy heart is a happy heart. Call 866-295-5305 or go to hbextract.com.
By now, you may have heard a bit about Bitcoins, but did you know Bitcoins are now over an $8.5 billion market? And did you know that over 65,000 businesses now accept Bitcoins? Listen, if you're already earning Bitcoins or trying to make money in the Bitcoin market, you've got to know BidBit.co. Why? Because BidBit.co is where you can easily receive Bitcoins by selling and auctioning off your own personal items or promote business products and services for Bitcoins. You heard right. Whether personal or business, you can now buy, sell, and auction your product and services quickly, easily, and securely for Bitcoin at bidbit.co, the first and only marketplace website to offer BidBit Escrow, a proprietary technology which gives buyers and sellers security and peace of mind because all transactions are protected. Start today. It's free to join, free to post, free to auction, and free to bid at bidbit.co. Buy, sell, bid, or auction everything Bitcoin. That's www.bidbit.co. Bidbit.co.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows. Pause and rewind live TV. Even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
This alert just came in. This special announcement is for business owners and leaders of organizations who've been waiting for the right time to build. General Steel has made it impossible to wait any longer with rock-bottom prices that could save you thousands. That's right, General Steel, America's leader in pre-engineered structures, is offering buildings at prices you will never see again. Don't miss these prices. A 50 by 100 for $35,000. You heard right. That's 5,000 square feet for $35,000. Manufacturers, if you need a larger building, try a 100 by 100 commercial building for $129,000. You can't afford to rent with these prices. Imagine a 70 by 100 foot church building for under $69,000. With the economy improving and interest rates still at historic lows, you can't afford to wait. So call 866-91-STEEL. Lock in your price now. Call 866-91-STEEL. That's 866-917-8335.
Class Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us, richardallenmiller.com, richardalanmiller.com. And we're talking about the seriousness of the threats that we're experiencing from radioactivity. Rick, I just put a post, there are two posts on the website. One is the nuclear tracking. You can go to usaprepares.com. It's right there, page 1. And also, up-to-the-minute radiation warnings. Also, I just posted that experts are saying that the Pacific food web is crashing. Fishermen are saying, where are the fish? Okay, it looks like the smaller fish that the larger fish feed on have disappeared, and the sea life in the Pacific is crashing, and there are shortages now, right now. So if you look at the nuclear emergency map that we just posted, you will see that there's radioactivity all over the United States. In some places, it's more serious. So, for example, in Nebraska, it's serious right now. Pennsylvania, it's serious right now. Those are the two most serious places. However, it's Radcon 2 and rising in Montana, Kansas, Texas, Pennsylvania, New York, Michigan, and Indiana right now.
Take a look at what Japan looks like. Hey, slide over and take a look at what Japan looks like on the map right now. That's really serious. Everyone in Tokyo, the thyroid incidences, not cancer, but thyroid problems, have gone from 28% in children. They're now up to 48%. Half the children in Tokyo have been affected by Fukushima.
Mm-hmm. And if you look at the map, it's on the website. All you have to do is slide over to Japan, and you will see that I would say almost about 40% of the landmass of Japan is lit up with radioactivity, and there are clusters of absolute, massive amounts of radioactivity, Radcon 3, and higher. You'll see it. It's
now,
unbelievable.
With that said, That's just one set of power plants that the grid affected when they were unprepared and could not stop the cooling. I couldn't cool it. Now, what would happen if all of that happened around the world all at once?
Yeah, and Hawaii's got.
By the way, that could have happened 2 months ago. There was a kill shot off the sun. It was not a CME. It was a giant plasma filament. It went off into space in the opposite direction of Earth. We were really lucky because that would have put the entire Earth, that discharge, down into the Stone Age. And with that, how do you turn those reactors off now?
According to some of the discussions that Matt Stein and I have had, and I'm sure you've had them as well, that it takes about a year to shut down a nuclear reactor. And, you just don't turn off the switch and everything's done. No, it's a long process to shut down a nuclear reactor. So, Rick, what you're saying, to put it in brief form, correct me if I'm wrong, please, but I believe what you're saying is that we have these nuclear reactors operating, and if there is a massive power outage, we will not have the cooling systems operational to keep the reactors cool while we shut them down, and it's going to take a year to do it. So if we can't keep them cool, they will melt down, and we will have Fukushimas and Chernobyls all over the United States, actually, and in Europe, correct?
All over the planet. You know, Africa right now, the reason Africa is sick is not because of Ebola. It's most likely radiation sickness, which, by the way, is identical in symptoms.
Okay, so now, Rick, we would be remiss if we didn't.
Germany has, for the last 20 years, been burying nuclear waste from Europe.
Yeah, you always dump it on the little people. And we've done
they're unimportant. It's Africa, it's desert. They have some trace minerals and some of the, important things used in technology. The whole thing was about greed, and you'll notice that the 1%ers are no longer on Earth. They're down underground or somewhere else. I cannot believe how, and the problem is everybody listening to me gets it, but we're the people that have our eyes open. What about the 99% out there that are not listening to this radio show and or don't believe in any of this?
Rick, let me put an exclamation point on what you just said. We have a lot of instructors all over the country, and some outside the country, and some show up at meetups, and we have been getting reports from someone who has his ear to the ground. And here's what he's been telling me. That there are wealthy individuals in this country who are buying up non-replaceable, valuable artwork, valuable artifacts, valuable historical artifacts, and they are moving them underground in massive secret locations, underground, guarded, armed guards, underground, and locations that people don't know about, or most people, like 99.9999999% don't know about. Artwork, valuables, wealth is now being stored underground and has been for at least 1 year. At least 1 year. I'm talking about the 1%ers, exactly what you're talking about. So we
here
have
we
reports
are with the movie 2012 when the art collector says, I thought all the artwork, Mona Lisa, was stored in the Swiss Alps and they're not there. Where are they? And they blow them up. Collateral damage. I started thinking about 9/11, and I got the big picture that they needed to put a terrorism bill through Congress, and the United States government was probably blackmailed on collateral damage to make that a false flag, to make the citizens have such fear seeing these aircraft homeland security and the ability to manage our populace like we might a foreign country. And they're doing exercises like that right now in Utah. And I'm here to tell you, I don't have answers, but all of that, controlling the coffins, the underground bunkers, they're distractions to something that is far more serious, and even the 1%ers are not addressing it, and all of their scurrying is for naught if they don't address this issue now. You have 2 years to turn these reactors off before I think it's all going to happen with that weird, I don't know, planetoid, I don't know what it is, coming in off elliptic out near Neptune. NASA's talking about it. They're sending up satellites to watch it, to see what it really is. It is historic. It has happened before. There is a book called Planet, the Seventh Planet, Mercury Rising, that talks about it. It's historic. You can go to the Colbus cultures in Peru when they went into caves and did pictographic art in caves to talk about what is about to happen to us like they did them. There were survivors, but our technology has left no options for the next civilization that will emerge from ours. That's my concern now.
Rick, so let's talk about solutions for the little guy, us. We cannot affect policy. No one listens to us. No one listens. Congress doesn't listen to us. So we've learned that the Constitution really doesn't mean anything. And George W. Bush was right when he said, well, I was angry when he said it's just a GD piece of paper. And I was literally angry when he said it. Like, who does he think he is? Well, it doesn't mean anything. And I literally met with a city manager who said, "Oh, Constitution, we don't care about that." They really don't care about that. So the government is not going to listen to us. So,
well, here's the problem that I have.
Unless we storm their house. Okay?
The problem I have is, who is it in Washington that's not as intelligent, native intelligence, as me, deciding what's best for me?
Right.
It's like full disclosure, like in the movie 2012. It's for their own good. We don't want them to panic. Well, I'm not panicking. I would really like to know what my life is about to have for me, and for somebody that's less intelligent than me, making that decision for me is not right by natural law. That means, and this is the warning I'm putting out now, that means Liber Oz is in effect. They called me the Wizard of Oz. Check out what Liber Oz means. And go ahead and look it up. It's in any language that you'd like to find it in. I am outraged, and I'm now at war. And it's not right what's happening. And somebody, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I am going to try to live my own life as best I can until my end. Trying to walk my talk. That's the only thing we can do now is start a massive movement on turning the switches off, because even if we don't survive, how are we going to leave this earth so the next civilization has even a walking chance? Mastodons aside with frozen food in their mouth is one thing. A nuclear power plant that has no cooling system because there is no electricity when it thaws is a very creepy, scenario.
Yeah. And, I can see a solution. But they'll probably arrest me as a terrorist if I were to say it. It would take forcing the government to shut these reactors down. We'll be right back. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Attention taxpayers! If you've received a notice from the IRS or state, do not ignore it. It's also a big mistake to try and handle your tax problem on your own. If you owe back taxes, it's a fact that the government has the power to take everything you own, including your home, business, wages, savings, and your freedom. But here's the good news. There's a special toll-free tax hotline set up especially for you. This tax hotline will tell you about new programs that are geared to help you dramatically settle, reduce, or eliminate what you owe. But you have to call now. Take down this number or put it in your cell phone. But call 877-345-7645. That's 877-345-7645. When you call, you'll get free information on how you can reduce or eliminate back taxes, including penalties and interest. You can also be helped if you have unfiled returns, a tax lien, wage garnishment, bank levy, or if you've been entered into a payment plan but can't make the payments. Don't make the big mistake in thinking you can ignore or handle your tax problem on your own. You can stop the collection process immediately at 1-877-345-7645. That's 1-877-345-7645. 1-877-345-7645.
For health and vitality for you, your family, and friends, get the Healthy Start Pack from Longevity, as recommended by registered pharmacist Ben Fuchs.
If you're a junk food junkie, getting on the Healthy Start Pack is one of the best ways to wean yourself off of processed snack foods and start putting good nutrition in your body. If you have a loved one who's dealing with heart disease or any health challenge, the Healthy Start Pack makes a great gift. If you have a grandparent or a parent in a nursing home, you will be amazed at the difference a once-a-day dose of the Healthy Start Pack will make in your loved one's energy levels, in their memory, in their mood, and in their general outlook on life.
Give the gift of optimal health to your loved ones and order the Healthy Start Pack from Longevity by calling 866-735-2470. That's 866-735-2470. Or on the web at brightsideben.com. That's brightsideben.com. Order today.
Hi, this is Steve Sanchez, and based on a recent study, it was found that 57 million Americans had legal issues over the last 12 months, but only 60% of those studied sought out the services of a lawyer. Why? In a nutshell, affordability. Well, my friends at Legal Shield have created a solution that can help you not if, but when you need an attorney. For as little as $17 per month, Legal Shield will provide you unlimited access to qualified attorneys at an accomplished law firm for advice and counsel on legal issues, no matter how serious or trivial. For over 40 years and with 1.4 million families across North America, Legal Shield can help you, the loyal GCN listener. Representatives are standing by now to answer your questions, so call them now at 1-855-340-SAVE. That's 1-855-340-7283, or visit them at lsprotection.com. That's lsprotection.com.
Results will vary from case to case.
The human body is extraordinary. Despite all the stresses we inflict upon it, it still works hard to stay in balance. Thousands upon thousands of people rely upon Heart and Body Extract to help their body stay balanced. This excellent 100% natural herbal formula helps maintain healthy blood pressure levels, cleans arteries, promotes good circulation, balances cholesterol, and more. HB Extract, paired with healthy lifestyle choices like good nutrition and exercise, can give you a life free of pain, sickness, and fear. Recapture your youthful vitality and experience your body healing itself with the aid of HB Extract. It's extremely effective and it starts working in just days. Visit hbextract.com to learn more and to read scores of testimonials from satisfied customers. And we've never increased our price in over 10 years. That makes Heart and Body Extract as great a value now as it was the first day we sold it. A healthy heart is a happy heart. Call 866-295-5305 or go to hbextract.com.
Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us, and we're talking about a very serious topic today, and that is Fukushima radiation. We talked about 3 Mile Island. We talked about these reactors that are leaking all over the planet. And we talked about some of the evidence, the anomalies, the mutations of plants in Pennsylvania, and a horse that was born with 8 legs and a calf that was born with 5 legs, including one leg coming out of the calf's face right down the road from us, about 40 miles from our farm here in Missouri. Rick, we'd be remiss if we didn't have a solution or offer a solution. I'm trying to think that, a pound of prevention, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. A stitch in time saves 9. Well, we've got to get out of the way of this radioactivity. And it's, these defectives who have allowed this to happen through their individual greed, these politicians, these defective people who have no idea what they're doing, or nor do they seem to care. They've allowed this. Somebody was off the coast of Japan in a boat, and he said, that's a great place. Let's just litter the coastline of Japan with nuclear reactors. This is absolute insanity. We have created a monster. Individually greedy men have created a monster for which there is no solution. There is no way that we can safely dispose of the byproduct, the waste, the depleted uranium and so forth of these radioactive death machines. How do we stay out of the way, Rick, of this? Do we wear respirators? Do we take showers every time we go out? Do we take our clothes off, at the back door? What do we do?
That's the beginning. I don't know where it's going to lead. That's where you start.
Okay.
Your food comes from the earth. That means your food needs to be protected by greenhouses that you would clean like you would a solar panel, probably. You need to start thinking about how you're going to do that. Your water needs to be filtered in special ways to remove any particulate that gets in there. Now, there are directions with fullerenes. There are directions with exclusion zone water. And my guess is there's probably, because my imagination can imagine it, that the 1%ers have talked to aliens, and the aliens said, don't worry, we'll clean up. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Well, Rick, we've talked on air. Most of our class knows that I live on a farm in Missouri in the middle of nowhere, and we have a dirt road. It's about 5 miles long. There are plenty of dirt roads here. A gravel road is an upgrade from what we have. And when we travel down our dirt road, there is a cloud of dust that follows the vehicles. And so, there's a lot of dust. And I'm trying to think, how is it that I can farm and go from one field to the next without getting dust? And for those who've been to our house, it's if we want to dust our house, we need to use a rake. There's a lot of dust here.
Well, laughter is a good place to start also. We have to laugh and create an internal landscape that will allow us to come to conclusions. Fear is not where it's at. Where it's at is to know the problem, because once you have identified the real problem, always the solution is there. See, that's the problem. We don't know the problem. We're not given full disclosure.
That's a really good point. When we come back, Rick, it'll be after the top of the hour news and commercial announcements. I'll spend a little bit more time on Fukushima, the nuclear reactors that have littered the planet, and that may take us out with a whimper, without a shot being fired. And then let's go into the violent climate change that you feel is coming our way. That's another attack, and we brought that on ourselves as well. Individual greed. And we're going to talk about the chemtrails, what they've done to us, how they've damaged us beyond repair. We'll be right back.
In an unpredictable world, it's good to know you are in control of food, your greatest dependency. Go Foods are storable for 25 years, quick fix, non-GMO, kosher, health store quality food at discount store prices delivered to your door. Go Foods is there when you need it most. Feed Your Frida package is available with up to 3 months of food for free. Call Go Foods at 1-800-648-9753 or on the web at www.storefoodnow.com.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? They've been available since 1986, yet the financial industry won't recognize the value of gold for your retirement. Gold has outperformed paper investments, yet no word about IRAs. If you would like to have gold for your retirement, call 800-686-2237. Don't get left behind by rising inflation and low returns. Call 800-686-2237. Secure your future and call 1-800-686-2237.
We all know that Berkey water purification systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 6 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey water filtration systems. The Berkey Light systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light system today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $231, and the Berkey Guy will ship your order free of charge. With the purchase of a Berkey Light, the Berkey Guy is also offering a set of fluoride and arsenic filters for only $39.99. That's over 30% off the retail price. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at GoBerkey.com. That's GoBerkey.com today.
This alert just came in. This special announcement is for business owners and leaders of organizations who've been waiting for the right time to build. General Steel has made it impossible to wait any longer with rock-bottom prices that could save you thousands. That's right, General Steel, America's leader in pre-engineered structures, is offering buildings at prices you will never see again. Don't miss these prices. A 50 by 100 for $35,000. You heard right. That's 5,000 square feet for $35,000. Manufacturers, if you need a larger building, try a 100 by 100 commercial building for $129,000. You can't afford to rent with these prices. Imagine a 70 by 100-foot church building for under $69,000. With the economy improving and interest rates still at historic lows, you can't afford to wait. So call 866-91-STEEL. Lock in your price now. Call 866-91-STEEL. That's 866-917-8335.
Everyone all set? Cocked, locked. Here we go. Hour number 2 of USAPrepares.com with Dr. Richard Allen Miller. Very serious broadcast today. And we're talking about radioactivity. We're talking about Fukushima. We're talking about birth defects. We're talking about anomalies in plants. We're talking about mutations. And we're talking about the individual greed that caused nuclear reactors to litter the planet. And there is absolutely no way that's safe of disposing of this toxic, hazardous, deadly byproduct and byproducts from the nuclear reactors. They're all leaking. They've contaminated the air. They've contaminated the ground. They've contaminated the food supply. They've contaminated the oceans. They've polluted the entire planet. And I think we, the people, should arrest and try everyone in our courts, not their courts, our courts that we set up, everyone who is involved in these nuclear reactors. The people who have approved them, the government officials, if you want to call them that, all these people, including the CEO of General Electric. Absolutely. Everyone should be arrested and tried and convicted and sentenced to a slave camp. Put them in a slave camp and let them just earn their food. And let them be exposed out in the open to the damage that they've caused here on planet Earth. For which, right now, there is no escape. You can't leave. There's no place to go. We're stuck here and they've damaged the planet. Highest crimes imaginable. I'm very serious, Rick. Do you disagree?
Well, yes and no, yes. But the sun dictates what happens on this earth, ultimately. And the sun is heating up. The heliosphere, not man-made, is heating up, and it's global warming on Mars and Pluto. I mean, that's been reported by NASA. There is. The heliosphere itself is heating up. That will be leading to coronal mass ejections and more risk of our grid going down. With that said, man is fooling with life support in a spaceship that has the crew is expanding 2 million people per week. And, that as a metaphor. And nobody is focused on what the real problem is. It's the sun that's going to cause a global warming event, which it is. And so that's what geoengineering, it's not trying to do bad things. What they're trying to do with geoengineering, as near as I can figure out, talking to Dane Wigington, Carnicom, and some of the other experts that are in that field, I have come to the conclusion that they already knew about this near extinction event and are trying to delay to the last possible moment. The U.S. dollar should have crashed in 2008. It didn't. It was like, I have no idea how they pulled that off, because our gross national debt, I went into a Safeway store yesterday, and the shelves were half empty. I have never seen Safeway like that, where it's true, they and Albertsons are being bought by another conglomerate. It's true, nothing's supposed to change, etc. Yet, I can guess that the conglomerate is probably China. They're buying up everything in terms of utilities, taking control of our entire lives from outside our government.
So, Rick, if any of us believes what you say is true, let's say half of it. Let's say someone is really skeptical, and they only believe half of it, or a quarter of it. What would you have that person do? How can we survive this? Obviously,
using less electricity and those forms of technologies, including radio, cell phones, television, whatever. It's all about copper and the use of electricity. And right now, the sun, that's our nuclear power plants. We need our power. There's plenty of alternative energy systems out there. Why have we not switched over? Oregon has buoys that rise and fall with the tide. I have previously said Nova Scotia's tides using that system, could power the entire eastern seaboard. And it's inexpensive. It's just up and down with the tide. That's all it's about. It's not about nuclear energy, plutonium, and cesium-137. And so here we are in the end days, and the 30 milliseconds to midnight. Turn the switch off so the next, civilization has a chance on a non-radioactive rock, which is what this is becoming. Won't be able to have life of any form we know. That's one of the reasons why they have gone toward the solution of the transhumanism and the Avatar program. They already have an Avatar 1. Imagine what the 1%ers are thinking, and what are they doing? Becoming non-human.
Rick, as you describe the rising tide, the way to think about this class is, how many of you have started a lawnmower with a pull starter? So imagine having a big float on the pull handle of your pull starter on your lawnmower. Okay, so you hook that up to a big float, and as the tide rises, it pulls the starter and turns a shaft, which in turn turns a generator. And that's what Rick is talking about, something on on that order. So, Rick, for
what
those
they call
of us
clean
who,
energy, green movement, etc.
Right.
China
Powered by the moon.
has already taken over Canada's utilities, and now they're trying to move into the United States. And when I say that, Bundy Ranch was them trying to put in some solar panels, and a bunch of cattlemen didn't want to have their grazing disturbed, and a war started. Now, it's happening. It's happening right now. There is, to some level, distraction. Like, look, children, over here, they're beheading a bunch of people. ISIS is da-da-da. And we want to go to war. When, in fact, the whole world is going down into a black hole, and nobody notices that part. Distractions, because it keeps the civilization organized. War is good for business.
Sure. Well, Rick, you know, as I think about it, electricity, I met with the, I believe he was the CEO of some of these electric co-ops. And I saw him at an event, and I said, how about you send one of your representatives over to the Get Prepared Expo and teach us about how to use less electricity? And he laughed at me. He said, you know, like, it'll never happen. It'll never happen because we don't want people to use less electricity. We're in the business of selling electricity. We want them to use more electricity. So that's just one more example of individual greed. And I said, wait a minute, hold it. You know, there are people who have these homes and they leave the lights on day and night on their front porch, the back porch. They leave them on all. I drive past them. And, you know, I know that they are in financial distress. I can tell by their properties that these people are not going to be paying their electric bills. And I don't want to pay for their carelessness. I don't want to pay for them leaving their lights on. I turn mine off when I'm not using them, and I use the lowest possible amount of electricity possible. As a matter of fact, my electric bill is like $100 a month or less. And I run the radio broadcast and the farm on that. Well, the point I'm trying to make is I talked to this guy about that, and he was one of the higher up, you know, ranking guys in the electric co-ops. He's saying, no, we're not going to do that. We want them to use more electricity. What we, the people, need to do is drive down the amount of electricity that we use. And if we bring the demand down, then they will have to say, well, we can't run these nuclear reactors because we don't have the demand for the electricity.
They're not
so we're going to have
profitable.
to shut
There's
them down.
cheaper ways to do it. That's the whole deal.
Well, and Rick, there is no good way that we have right now in the United States that I know of, other than hydroelectric, that is non-polluting. Nuclear pollutes, natural gas pollutes, and coal pollutes. They all pollute. The current technologies, the ones that are other than hydroelectric, I don't know, and solar, I don't know of one that does not pollute. And wind.
Well, you know, I wouldn't want to live under a power line. So there's your vortexes and matrix forms of the way we pump from hydroelectric out of Grand Coulee on these big power lines. And I'm reminded of the comedy Neighbors. None of it's right. I'm not talking about going back to feudal systems. There are ways to do this where you can grow solar crystals. You can grow crystals just like you do carrots and make your own solar panels as a crop. In fact, you can grow alcohol as a crop. In fact, there's a bunch of things that we could be doing, including the kinds of foods we're eating, which is what's putting us in these mindsets of complacency in the first place. It's called galatamorphin. It's an opiate in wheat. I now try not to eat any kinds of forms of wheat. I still do. I try not to. When I go to a restaurant, I order rye. That's not any much better, but at least it's not wheat. Wheat is not only a form of eugenic mind control, literally. I'm guessing the whole thing came from off planet. I don't think we get it. What is the Anunnaki? What are the Nibiru and these historic references throughout the various Bibles? The Colburn Bible, and then the one that we associate with Rome. I don't understand what's happening, but I'm probably going to be a Matthew speaking out as a scribe.
By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration systems and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
Gold. It's like nothing else. From the Romans through the Renaissance, from the Industrial Age to the Space Age, gold has weathered the test of time. For 6,000 years, gold has remained the ultimate store of wealth. According to the World Gold Council and the U.S. Mint, demand is at an all-time high. The stage is being set for the reemergence of gold as the common-sense alternative to a fiat paper currency that gets weaker every day. Midas Resources is proud to offer the hard-hitting report that arms you with the truth you need to protect you and your family from the Fed's plans for your hard-earned money. Don't gamble with your future. Call Midas Resources today and ask for your free copy of As Good as Gold. Call 1-800-686-2237 for the report the Fed hopes you'll never see. As Good as Gold can be yours by calling 800-686-2237. If you have ever thought about owning gold, you must read this report. Call Midas today at 800-686-2237.
Hello, it's Tom Chenault from The Tom Chenault Show. We are experts in home-based business and residual income. We show people how to make money from their home, either part-time or full-time, and in partnership with Genesis Communication Network, we've organized a team to fight back about people not having money, time, or health. And we need your help. What we want you to do is, if you've got an interest in building an organization to fight back against people taking our money, taking our time, and taking our health, we want to talk to you. All you need to do is call this number, 855-308-8326. Again, all you want to do is call 855-308-8326. You can make a tremendous amount of money and end up fighting for a great cause. Please call us right now.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows. Pause and rewind live TV. Even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
Dr. Richard Allen Miller's with us. Dr. Richard Allen Miller. You can go to his website, richardallenmiller.com. Richard, A-L-A-N, Miller.com. Hey, Rick, we're going to be getting together in a couple weeks, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Want to tell our class about that?
Illinois, we're going to be, Matt Stein and I are going to Indianapolis next weekend, not this weekend, the following, on a large gun show with RK Shows, and I will be doing several talks to include the day after tomorrow and the non-local mind in a holographic universe, the 4 worlds of defense, and how to change the movie. You're going to be joining us, I guess, working our table and helping Matt and I.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So I'm going to drive out there, and maybe we'll get a chance to see Aaron Dakins and some of the.
That would be nice.
Yeah. So I'll be there, not this weekend, but next weekend, and I'll be posting information on the website about the event. And so Rick Miller and Matt Stein will be there. Rick, we talked about rapid, violent climate change. Would you tell us about that? And let's talk about what it is, what you expect.
That's a historical event that is about to happen. And my guess is that's why geoengineering has been so intense in trying to hold off an event that should have happened earlier. So 4 days ago, Antarctica was at 64 degrees. And Greenland, at the opposite end of the Earth, is a polar, those glaciers are melting so quickly right now that the desalinization of the sea is going to bring on a mini ice age very similar to the day after tomorrow. I was told by several, Mike Harris, etc., Gordon Duff, that the BP oil spill in the Gulf was their attempt to try to stop the current changes that are occurring. It didn't work, and that's why they have ramped up on geoengineering, trying to slow down this thing of global warming. What happens is, when it global warms, it melts all the ice. All the ice is melting right now. And as a result, it changes the salt content in the ocean, and that changes the ocean currents. And in doing that, it creates a superstorm that resets and reboots the Earth's ocean currents. And right now, we're in the very end game of that process. And it's happening right now. It has happened historically. And it'll be just very similar, even though it's a science fiction movie. The day after tomorrow is about as close as it gets scientifically on how it's going to play. And the, flooding of New York, because the ocean currents are going to rise probably to 60 meters.
Rick, 60 meters? 60
meters, yeah. That's the current calculation most likely to be happening as the global warming is occurring right now. That means New York will flood, of course.
Yeah.
New York City, Florida's gone, etc. There's a map I sent Sandy you on how to calculate that for a 2-foot rise in the sea or a 60-meter rise, which is, 120 feet.
Mm-hmm.
So imagine how that's going to play everywhere if you're at sea level.
So I have a link that you sent about that map. I'll put it on the website as soon as I get it. Also, class, if I've been unable to get all the posts for the ProPure water filtration systems on the website. I'm working on that. That should be up on Sunday. I'm delayed in doing that. So if you're interested, you can send me an email, Vincent at usaprepares.com, Vincent at usaprepares.com. Include your phone number, and I will send you the information about ProPure, or I'll call you. Yeah, put your phone number. I'll call you. And I'll tell you why I like certain water filtration systems, which ones are the very, very best value, and we can save you a substantial amount of money. And Rick, that's another thing. With the radiation in the water, we've got to filter our water. There's no choice if we want to survive, in my opinion. Because
of course, with the heating, the global warming, all of that means that there are more soil organisms and other kinds of creatures in the water that you're drinking. The municipality where I live here in Oregon, they have H. pylori in the water.
And I was talking with Richard Linebaugh, one of our instructors, about well drilling, and he says that the movement of the earth is causing the contamination of the aquifers that have taken millions of years to develop. We're destroying them by the second. We'll be right back. How many of you want to learn how to dig up bugs, worms, and raise crickets for food? Do you prefer to eat them dried and crunchy or while still alive? Well, you won't have to if you can defend your food supply from predators. You may want to get an AR-15 kit from guns80.com and build your own AR-15 rifle from a kit. If you can legally own a rifle, you can purchase this AR-15 kit. If you're handy, you can complete the rifle in about an hour. The kit comes with all the parts you're going to need to build your rifle, but you'll need a drill press. And survivalists need one anyway. The Guns80.com team purchased the same used floor-standing drill press that I have for $100. You can too. And when you're finished, you'll have a paperwork-free AR-15 rifle, a drill press, drill bits, and the knowledge to maintain your AR-15 rifle, all for less than you expect. So if you want a paperwork-free AR-15 parts kit like mine, visit Guns80.com, Guns80.com, and let the unprepared have our share of the bugs.
By now, you may have heard a bit about bitcoins, but did you know bitcoins are now over an $8.5 billion market? And did you know that over 65,000 businesses now accept bitcoins? Listen, if you're already earning bitcoins or trying to make money in the bitcoin market, you've got to know bidbit.co. Why? Because bidbit.co is where you can easily receive bitcoin by selling and auctioning off your own personal items or promote business products and services for bitcoins. You heard right. Whether personal or business, you can now buy, sell, and auction your product and services quickly, easily, and securely for Bitcoin at bidbit.co, the first and only marketplace website to offer BidBit escrow, a proprietary technology which gives buyers and sellers security and peace of mind because all transactions are protected. Start today. It's free to join, free to post, free to auction, and free to bid at bidbit.co. Buy, sell, bid, or auction everything Bitcoin. That's www.bidbit.co. Bidbit.co.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows. Pause and rewind live TV. Even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.
This alert just came in. This special announcement is for business owners and leaders of organizations who've been waiting for the right time to build. General Steel has made it impossible to wait any longer with rock-bottom prices that could save you thousands. That's right, General Steel, America's leader in pre-engineered structures, is offering buildings at prices you will never see again. Don't miss these prices. A 50 by 100 for $35,000. You heard right, that's 5,000 square feet for $35,000. Manufacturers, if you need a larger building, try a 100 by 100 commercial building for $129,000. You can't afford to rent with these prices. Imagine a 70 by 100-foot church building for under $69,000. With the economy improving and interest rates still at historic lows, you can't afford to wait. So call 866-91-STEEL. Lock in your price now. Call 866-91-STEEL. That's 866-917-8335.
The human body is extraordinary. Despite all the stresses we inflict upon it, it still works hard to stay in balance. Thousands upon thousands of people rely upon Heart and Body Extract to help their body stay balanced. This excellent 100% natural herbal formula helps maintain healthy blood pressure levels, cleans arteries, promotes good circulation, balances cholesterol, and more. HB Extract, paired with healthy lifestyle choices like good nutrition and exercise, can give you a life free of pain, sickness, and fear. Recapture your youthful vitality and experience your body healing itself with the aid of HB Extract. It's extremely effective and it starts working in just days. Visit hbextract.com to learn more and to read scores of testimonials from satisfied customers. And we've never increased our price in over 10 years. That makes Heart and Body Extract as great a value now as it was the first day we sold it. A healthy heart is a happy heart. Call 866-295-5305 or go to hbextract.com.
Rick, I'm looking at the map. I just posted it on the website. I took the link that you sent me, and it's at usaprepares.com. So I'm looking, and at 60 meters, Bangladesh is gone. It looks like Well, let's see.
This is not even talking about
Tokyo,
coastal ships and geography also sliding into the ocean to raise the waters.
It looks like parts of Alaska. You go down to California. Part of California is underwater. You look at the Gulf of Mexico. We've got parts of Louisiana. Looks like Houston's underwater. The Gulf Coast of Mexico's underwater. Looks like all of Florida's underwater. Cuba is about 40-50% underwater. The entire East Coast, all the way up to New York. Well, no, actually past that. The entire East Coast of the United States is impacted. Delaware is underwater. 2/3 of New Jersey is underwater. All of Manhattan Island is underwater. Looks like about half of North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. Looks really, really devastating. Even
it doesn't,
inland
and
California.
burning a Gutenberg Bible is not going to keep you warm enough.
Yeah,
that's the movie, and that's the sci-fi part.
Well, seriously, I'm looking at this map. A class you can too. Just go to usaprepares.com and you'll see where it says Dr. Richard Allen Miller, interactive flood map link. You can click on that and you will see the map that we're talking about. You can add whatever sea level rise you're talking about from 1 meter, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
By the way, that
13.
one came from Ed Marvini. I would be remiss if I didn't thank you, Ed.
I'll tell you what, Ed Marvini is on top of a lot of things. He is our webmaster, Rick's and mine, and his website is usersite.com, USERSIGHT.
So what did you think of J.C. Cole?
Interesting guy. He spent a day with us
He's the one
farm
that got me into doing sustainable lifeboats. And believe me when I tell you this, there is a complete difference between a lifeboat and a sustainable lifeboat. Trust me.
Yeah. Yeah, he needs to move out of New Jersey. It looks to me like it's underwater.
The bottom line is, all of us are, not financially equipped, whatever, to be able to really think about those kinds of things. To just simply move. It isn't like that. I have no way to move. I had trouble moving from across town, just going from here to there.
Well, years ago, I decided, about 10 years ago, that I decided that it was just not safe to be in Virginia. And I think we're at about 47 feet above sea level back, when I was there, and I thought that that's nowhere near enough. And it was too close to the District of Criminals. And Virginia had become more and more of a police state, and I just didn't like it. So we looked for a place to live that was high. Okay, Missouri, we're in the Ozark Mountains, and as far away from pollution and people as we could get, and yet still have freedom from government and low taxes and good land and clean water. And that's why we moved here. But we planned on this, and it was a massive move for us. I mean, it took several years for us to accomplish that. That's why we moved to Missouri, because we were afraid that these things were coming. And Rick, when we started talking about this with the extended family, they thought we were nuts, absolutely nuts. And they may still think that, but we're here, and we're planted, and we're farming, and it's working for us. So I would suggest that people consider, if you have the wherewithal and you're willing to move away from family, because probably they're not going to move with you. If you're willing to do that, you might have a better chance of survival. If these things that Rick is talking about are coming our way, we're in for a really, really rough ride. So Rick, please tell us one more time why this is going to happen. If we stop the chemtrail spraying, this nonstop 24/7, 365 chemtrail spraying, just look up. It's there. It's wherever you are. Just look up. If we stop it, what's going to happen in your mind?
Probably will heat up faster, and the event will occur sooner.
Okay.
Right now, all the different infobots, Cliff High, all the different things saying that there's semi-extinction event where global, ice age.
No.
And while Costa Rica looks attractive right now and bugging out rather than bugging in, a volcano is also a potential extinction event, and they're going off all over down there right now. And all you have to do is put enough ash up in that atmosphere, and now you've got chemtrails personified with cutting off the heat from the sun. Nothing grows. What are you going to do now with LEDs and your electric grid power?
Rick, there was a volcano in Guatemala, and it was about to let off, and I got an email from Mike Ma, and he was down there at that time, and he said, looks like we're going to die. And there was no place to go. There was literally no place to go. And he couldn't get out in time, but fortunately, the volcano did not erupt as many thought it might. But, we're on borrowed time probably with that, too.
Well, I was in the second eruption of Mount St. Helens. My ex-wife and our daughter we were camping over on, stepdaughter was camping on the beaches. When I woke up at 6 in the morning, stepped out our trailer, and it was raining cement. And when I saw that, we immediately took the Demon Drive back to Seattle. That particulate gets into your engine and just completely ruins it. Now, and it was bumper to bumper. You couldn't even see the car in front of you. And all you had to do is pray that nobody did something stupid. Thank goodness for Seattle drivers. They're a lot smarter than California ones. And we got home okay. But Mount St. Helens, when it blew, it created at least 4 inches of topsoil for most of eastern Washington. It was everywhere, all the way up to Spokane.
And the sky was dark.
The what?
The sky was dark.
The sky not only was dark, it was raining cement. You couldn't even see in front of you 6 feet.
And putting your windshield washer on, man, oh man.
Oh, no. If it had been water and rain, you would have had a serious problem. Scratching your windshield with micropulver. Oh, no. You don't understand. It's not like what you think. It's way different and way worse.
Yeah, what I'm saying is,
I lived through it.
What I'm saying is, if you turn your windshield washer on and you then made cement across your windshield, and then you couldn't get that
on a micro scale to the point where it's scoring the glass.
Yeah, and
no
Rick, we got
don't want to breathe it.
Right.
You don't want to get in your lungs like asbestos.
We have a caller who.
Yeah.
We have a caller who's off the air, and he'd like you to go into more detail about the pole shift. And is that another problem?
The Inuit have already gone public in saying that the stars have moved. The Earth wobbles. It has a center that's off-center, and so it wobbles. That's what the Hopi called the wobble egg. And really, it's been for more than 50 years, 60 years known, and that at some point, the crustal pole, which is moving towards Siberia, Dr. Bert Bolin, University of Stockholm, Sweden, says that that's probably the way it's all going to go for landmass changes. And there are 2 books by Greg Bear, science fiction, called Epoch and Aeon, where at the last moments when the mantle is shifting, that's 100 miles of topsoil, is shifting position, not, 2 or 3 miles. 100 miles of mantle is shifting. The aliens come and they take up 144,000 to witness the death of their mother from space. Becomes part of our archetypal experience. That's all science fiction, but Greg Bear wrote that in the 80s.
So, Rick, if you look at just the 3 items we're talking about, pole shift, if we look at the coming ice age, the rapid onset ice age as we're describing this, and if you look at radioactivity, which is your biggest concern?
Radioactivity for the next civilization after ours is cease. That is a fiduciary responsibility we have to humanity. Now, if that doesn't happen, I'm going to say it's because something intervened. Hostile. I don't know that. I'm just going to say that's what needs to happen next as a fiduciary responsibility for the next generation of civilizations with mankind. I have a feeling that this is not all man-made, and that our so-called one-percenters aren't what we think they are.
Okay. Do you want to elaborate on that?
Well, I mentioned the seventh planet, Mercury rising, Nibiru, Sitchin, and the idea that biblically they've talked about the Anunnaki and all of that. It goes back into the Colburn Bible, which Matthew and others keyed off of. So, there's, for Revelations, whatever, I'm going to say there's more going on here than I have been given disclosure on. And while my imagination is valid, at my level of consciousness, imagination is reality, and I can imagine all kinds of weird things going on. And none of it, they talk about good aliens, bad aliens, and ugly. Of course there are. It's all of the above.
Yeah, and if you look at us as an alien, we're pretty ugly too. I mean, just think about the damage we've done to our own planet. Dr. Richard Allen Miller and I will be back. We're going to try to find some solutions to the dilemma that we're in. I'm Vin Finelli. We'll be right back. By now you know that USAPrepares.com is your source for water filtration systems. Here at the farm we use our water filtration system for drinking, cooking, and for our cats and dogs. Which brand are we using? Well, that would be the ProPure system, because it filters out pathogens, microbes, chlorine, and fluoride. Multiple sources indicate that fluoride is responsible for lowering our IQs by 5%. Now, how many of you would like to sign up for a lower IQ? USAPrepares.com offers ProPure water filtration system and accessories at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate. We buy them by the pallet loads and pass the savings on to you. And if you're outside of Missouri, there's no sales tax. And if this appeals to you, visit USAPrepares.com. That's USAPrepares.com. You can order online, and we have the ProPure water filtration systems in stock, ready to ship. USAPrepares.com. ProPure water filtration systems at the same price as everyone else, except we offer an instant rebate.
We live in a complicated society. Stressful issues are always popping up. Have you ever been treated unfairly by someone? Have you ever been overcharged for a repair? Have you ever signed a contract or a document? Worried about identity theft? How many times have you been in those unique situations where you just wanted to call an attorney to find out if you're right or wrong, or what your legal rights are? But every time you think about calling an attorney, what do you think about first? That's right. Who do you call, and how much will it cost? Our friends at Legal Shield have found a solution. With a nationwide network of 6,900 attorneys who average 19 years of experience, Legal Shield's law firms take over 40,000 calls per week helping their members. For less than $20 per month, you can have access to Legal Shield on everything from the trivial to the traumatic. Let Legal Shield stand up for your rights at lsprotection.com. That's lsprotection.com. Or call 855-340-SAVE, 855-340-7283.
Results will vary from case to case.
So you've been listening to pharmacist Ben and Dr. Wallach for a long time now, and you're wondering if longevity really works. Hi, my name is Adam. I'm an employee at GCN, and I've been using longevity products for over 2 years now. Call me today to hear my story at 612-695-5982. You too can lose weight, experience increased energy, and feel better about yourself and the future of your family. Call today, 612-695-5982. That's 612-695-5982.
We the people grow cotton, weave fabric, engrave ink, embed strips and fibers to protect from counterfeit and carting to a private bank, having it led back at interest, forcing taxes to service debt. This capitalism, or was Jefferson correct when stating a central bank issuing the public currency is a greater menace to the liberties of the people than a standing army? Hi, Ted Anderson. I'm placing a free silver dollar in a book that explains our monetary system. Call for your copy, 800-686-2237. It's time to understand the system. Call 800-686-2237. That's 800-686-2237.
For over 5 years, you've been hearing about the Berkey guy, so you may know a few things about him. For example, you are well aware of the superior quality and effectiveness of Berkey water filters and accessories. But did you know the Berkeys have had independent lab tests done to prove just how effective they are? It's true, and he can email you the test results. Just visit goberkey.com. You may also know that the Berkey Guy has helped tens of thousands of people get better prepared. Now here's something you may not know. GoBerkey.com has amazing specials and deals all the time on a wide variety of survival and preparedness products. Most ready to ship same day. Visit the Berkey Guy at GoBerkey.com and be sure to click the red Products on Sale Now button. You can always call toll-free 877-886-3653. Again, that's 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com, home of the Berkey Guy.
Attention taxpayers! If you've received a notice from the IRS or state, do not ignore it. It's also a big mistake to try and handle your tax problem on your own. If you owe back taxes, it's a fact that the government has the power to take everything you own, including your home, business, wages, savings, and your freedom. But here's the good news. There's a special toll-free tax hotline set up especially for you. This tax hotline will tell you about new programs that are geared to help you dramatically settle, reduce, or eliminate what you owe. But you have to call now. Take down this number or put it in your cell phone. But call 877-345-7645. That's 877-345-7645. When you call, you'll get free information on how you can reduce or eliminate back taxes, including penalties and interest. You can also be helped if you have unfiled returns, a tax lien, wage garnishment, bank levy, or if you've been entered into a payment plan but can't make the payments. Don't make the big mistake in thinking you can ignore or handle your tax problem on your own. You can stop the collection process immediately at 1-877-345-7645. That's 1-877-345-7645. 1-877-345-7645.
Rick, I'm just about ready to post an article about the California drought.
Yeah.
What people are demolishing their pools. They're literally jackhammering their pools because in apartment complexes because of the drought. They have they're using extreme measures because of the climate change, this rapid onset climate change. The California water is moving elsewhere, and we're getting a lot of rain here. We've had a massive drought. Cows had to be sold because farmers couldn't feed their cows a couple of years ago. Now we've got plenty of water, but California doesn't. I believe we're manipulating the weather. Rick, you talked about this rapid onset ice age that could be here by 2020. And if this happens, you suggested going underground. Mrs. Finelli and I were walking around the farm looking for that ideal place yesterday, a couple days ago. Literally, we are looking at going underground here at the farm, and we're trying to find the ideal place. Would you share with our class today exactly what you're talking about in the next couple of minutes that we have remaining?
Well, yeah, if you bug in and the desalinization creates a supercell, like in the movie The Day After Tomorrow, and the likelihood of that is almost 100%, because it has happened before, it is how it works, this is simple physics, there it is. It won't last more than 2 or 3 weeks, but the frost lines will go to 3 feet, which means you will have, most likely, no viable seed or soil organisms, in which it'll be the sands of Mars. And that if you're going to bug in, you need to take everything down with you that you need for your sustainable lifeboat when you come back up to the surface and you have 10 feet of snow for the next 2 years.
Okay, so what we're talking about is infrastructure frozen. So water pipes will be frozen.
Well, it's like living on Mars. You're going to be, if you were living on Mars, how do they do it? That's what you need to be thinking about on Spaceship Earth.
Okay, so Rick, let me see if I've got this right. Just talk about someone who lives in a city or in suburbs. The water's brought to them underground. They have pipes in their house. The pipes go from let's say they have a 2-story house. The pipes come from, and if they have a basement, the water comes from the basement, from the water meter, up through the house to the second floor, and all that's going to burst. Every bit of it's going to burst.
Oh, yeah, and I forgot to mention, Joey sent me a very interesting article where smart meters are now being used to see if people are misusing their water.
Yes,
they had specifically
in California.
Hamburger. Yes. Or they use the smart meter to know precisely how much and how much extra water that they're using that they're not allowed to, etc.
You know, Joey showed up.
The smart meter is about.
Joey showed up at the farm and he brought me all kinds of inspirational posters and things that are framed.
I love Joey.
He's a great guy, and I think of him many times a day as I walk through the farmhouse because I have constant reminders of him. Anyway, maybe we'll get a chance to see him at the event, not this weekend, but next weekend at the RK show with you and Matt Stein. Be great to see him. Rick, this for most people, this really, boy, I hate to use these words, is a death sentence.
And the last message I want to say is turn the switch off. That has got to be the most important thing we do now to save the next potential civilization after ours.
Rick, let's get specific. For those who are on medication like insulin, boy, they've got to stock up on it now, don't you think?
Well, have some kind of an herbal alternative in their garden, herbal pharmacy.
Yeah, and they're going to have to grow that when they come out of the bunker, if they are able to make one. Rick, we're going to have to talk. Rick, we're going to have to talk about this again because this is complex. This is a huge wake up call. Now, I don't think everyone is going to succumb to this. I think we can plan. I think we have some time, but we need to turn the reactors off. You're absolutely right. We need to reduce, reuse, and recycle, and we need to reduce our electric consumption to the point where the power companies say, wow, we can't afford to keep this reactor running, and they shut them down. That's the plan, class. Reduce your electric consumption. That's a good start. We need to do it right now. Dr. Richard Allen Miller, thanks so much for being with us. Class, above all, honesty and integrity. What happens next is up to you.
Right now is the time to jumpstart your health with the new 30% discount from InfoWarsHealth.com. Secure the all-new Tangy Tangerine 2.0 with certified organic ingredients that are non-GMO and better tasting than ever. For an exclusive 30% off discount when you sign up at InfoWarsHealth.com. That's 30% off retail when you become a distributor at InfoWarsHealth.com. You've heard me talk about Tangy Tangerine for years now, and you've heard others talk about what it's done for them. Take the challenge. Try it for the first time. Or even reorder your Tangy Tangerine and other great longevity products like Pollen Burst or the Alex Pack, all for 30% off when you visit InfoWarsHealth.com. This is a fantastic opportunity to be able to try out the hundreds of amazing products at InfoWarsHealth.com and get 30% off on products like Beyond Tangy Tangerine 2.0. Visit InfoWarsHealth.com to get started today. You can also sign up for auto ship and get free shipping. 30% off and free shipping. It's all available exclusively at InfoWarsHealth.com today.
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number, 1-855-905-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. Say goodbye to the cable guy and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. Sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99, and there's no equipment to buy. You get free HD TV upgrade, a free DVR upgrade, and free professional installation. You control what you watch when you watch it. Record your favorite shows. Pause and rewind live TV. Even skip the commercials. Watch local channels too. At just $19.99, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV. Say goodbye to the cable guy. Cut costs and get more. 1-855-905-MY-TV. 1-855-905-MY-TV.